Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. And I suppose now that ESL have announced the actual play schedule for the Wargaming League Grand Finals in Warsaw next weekend, that I can actually mention what it is I'm going to be doing when I'm at the Grand Finals. I'll be playing an exhibition match of World of Warship on the final day of the event. There's a dream team. Yeah, we're not that good. Well, some of us are. Some of us are very, very good players. We haven't really had much of an opportunity to play together as a team, however. It was all a bit short notice. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. That's the main thing. Now, what have we got for you today? Well, in my last World of Warships video, I had a pretty good game. Well, a couple of pretty good games. Nothing spectacular. But they were as nothing compared to the match that I played when I loaded up the Minekaze, the Japanese Tier 5 Destroyer. Convinced, after the previous couple of matches, that, hell, I'm playing the wrong kind of ships. I need to get my Destroyer on. At the astronomical scores racked up by, in particular, the Fubuki player in the match where I was in my Atlanta, I thought, that's it, I'm going to have a go with some Destroyer. And this is what happened in the very first game that I played. I do tend to play destroyers more, even though I love my cruisers. Cruisers are a bit more visible than destroyers. And prior to changing my name in World of Warships, it was relatively easy for some. But oh look, Jingles is on the other team, and he's in a cruiser. Hey. So it's different if I'm in a destroyer. You know, it's all well and good knowing that I'm there, but if I'm in a Japanese destroyer, first you've got to find me. And so I tended to get a bit more practice in playing destroyers than any other kind of ship. Which meant that, well, when I changed my name to give myself a little bit of anonymity when I was playing, it was like taking somebody who'd been used to fighting with one hand tied behind his back, giving him plasma cannons and melter bombs. So the wolf is about to be let loose amongst the sheep. Yeah, I know, I talk a pretty good fight. Well, that's what it felt like anyway. So, Minekaze. Torpedoes have a 7-kilometre range. My detection range is 6.2 kilometres. We're at the start, and initially I'm just going to get some spots on enemy ships. There's our first target. There are some torpedo bombers coming in, however, and I don't want to get spotted by them, so I start turning away, but our carrier has sent fighters on an intercept vector. Plenty more ships popping up. Enemy team also have 2 destroyers. Haven't seen either of them yet. Torpedo bombers have been chased away. More fighters going in. Dive bombers have been chased away. I should be pretty safe. And there's the enemy Nicholas. Okay, so I need to stay the hell away from him. But now I know where one of the enemy destroyers is, and I can see where the carrier's aircraft are. So I'm going to head over to the north. I want to stay as far away from that enemy Nicholas Class Destroyer, those enemy aircraft as possible, and just remain undetected. And that Königsberg there is starting to look like a victim. He's taking a battering from my team's guns. Dive bombers going in. Right. So he's my first target. Now, this is not an ideal attack vector. He's steaming straight towards me, and I have been detected. So if he's paying attention, it's going to be relatively easy for him to avoid these torpedoes, which is why I only put 2 spreads of torpedoes in the water and kept 1 torpedo launcher in reserve to see what he does. I'm still detected. And, yeah, he's avoided the torpedoes. So, third tube, pop them off. And the thing that everybody forgets about Japanese destroyers is they also have guns. Admittedly, they're usually pretty bad guns. I mean, the guns on the Minekaze have got a turret rotation speed that's akin to a battleship, but if you're detected anyway... oh, and there's the other enemy destroyer, so that's good, now I know where he is. But if you're detected anyway, and your guns are pointing in the right direction, use the guns. Now, yes, you boost your detection radius when you fire the guns, but there's nobody else with a line of sight to me other than that Königsberg. Once he was killed, I'm no longer detected. And here comes an enemy New York class battleship. Ho ho ho. Now, I'm gonna have to hold my fire here until that Clemson gets out of the way. But the Clemson's going to get spotted before I do, as the battleship comes around the corner. I'm going to slow down. The Clemson takes the hits. He's clear. Launch the torpedoes. I've popped smoke, which turned out to be a complete waste because the Clemson has already dropped his own smoke screen, so we've got a double smoke screen here, which is a bit overkill. So, enemy New York class battleship sailing broadside on spots a pair of hostile destroyers 6 kilometers away off his port beam. We know he spotted us because we got the detection alert and he shot at us. Is he going to change course or speed? Of course he isn't. Why would you do something like that? You might not lose all your health. So, there's my first kill. 5 torpedo hits. Thank you very much. Devastating strike, Mr. Battleship. Enemy cruiser. Now the Clemson's gone down, which is unfortunate, but that smoke screen's still up, which means I can't see that cruiser. Now I could fire torpedoes here. Jeez, that was close. I could fire torpedoes here, but there's a chance that we're just going to hit the wreck of the Clemson. And spotted. Out of line of sight. No longer spotted. So that was kind of close. I'm up this end of the map now anyway. There is another enemy destroyer around here somewhere. Although the good news is, as well as that New York, the Königsberg, the enemy team have just lost one of their destroyers. It was the Nicholas that was down south. So the enemy Iziaslav is still up here somewhere. So I need to be prepared to brake hard and manoeuvre at an instant's notice. Now, lots and lots and lots of lovely targets. We've got a Congo, we've got a New Mexico, we've also got a Cleveland. And right now the Congo is looking like the best victim. He's closest and he's sailing broadside on, so I just need to get within 7 kilometers. Actually, that New Mexico looks like he's... yeah, he's now the closest. Right, gonna go for the New Mexico. Torpedoes away, and I'm already turning. I don't want to get within 6.2 kilometers or the Cleveland is gonna spot me. The Cleveland spotted me, damn it. Turn, burn, do the hippie hippie shake, get the hell out of there. Now, if the New Mexico actually has his brain on, there's no way any of those torpedoes are going to hit him. And it does look like he's already manoeuvring, and they're all going to miss. So, well done, New Mexico player. Spotted a destroyer, took immediate action. I was kind of hoping, and I'm not detected anymore because I'm now further than 6.2 kilometers away, and I haven't fired my guns. I was kind of hoping that the Cleveland's course change to get all his guns pointed at me meant that he might have run into one of those torpedoes, but no, he's not quite that stupid. Second torpedo attack. Detected again, and this time it's the cruiser. Oh, Kirov just came out from behind the island. This is bad. This is really, 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 really bad. I'm hit, but it's very, very minor damage. Let's get the hell out of here. Dodge the shots from the Cleveland. They're all opening up on me now. But that Kirov that spotted me as he came around the island, even though the torpedoes weren't aimed at him. Remember, torpedoes do not discriminate. Right, they'll kill whoever they hit. They really don't care. So, with Kirov dead, I'm no longer spotted. And it looks like that Cleveland is in hot pursuit. There's also some spotter aircraft up, so I need to be careful of those. I'm going to try and get that Cleveland. The spotter aircraft, however, flies in a big circle around its parent ship, so I don't really have to worry about it for much longer because it's already heading in the other direction. Torpedoes away, and it looks like the Cleveland's broken off the pursuit. He's not quite as dumb as I was hoping he was going to be, and that means pretty much all of those torpedoes are going to miss as well, unless somebody blunders into them. But the thing about the Minekaze is the torpedo tubes, while it only fires 3 torpedoes from each launcher, they only take 43 seconds to reload. It's not like the higher tier Japanese destroyers and the American destroyers where they take minutes to reload the tube. So if you line up a good shot and then your target changes course, you're sailing around for what feels like forever with nothing to do. Well, you don't get that in the Minekaze. Now, I want to go after that Congo because he's split away from the rest of the pack and that makes him vulnerable. But in order to get him, I'm going to have to deal with this Phoenix first because he's getting uncomfortably close. So I've slowed right down. Don't want to blunder within 6.2 kilometers again. And his course is nice and steady. Let's see if the Phoenix is paying attention. And hopefully if I put him down, I can go after the Congo. It does not look like that Phoenix is paying attention, does it? That's looking pretty good. Kill number 3. That's my 3rd devastating strike. Oh, I don't know. Minekaze. It's an assassin. It strikes from the shadows. Now, actually, yeah, no. I can stay out of detection range without too many problems because that Congo is actually sailing away from me. Unfortunately, he's sailing away from me, so while he might be less than 7 kilometers away now, those torpedoes are going to run out of steam before they get to where he's going to be by the time they've crossed the distance between us. In fact, he was just outside the torpedo range even when I launched them, and they're never going to hit him, not unless he turns around and comes back this way. And I'm not entirely sure what he's doing heading down in that direction. I mean, one, it's split him apart from the rest of the ships in his fleet, so he's got no mutual support and fire, and two, there's nothing over there, so I don't know what he thinks he's going to achieve over in that direction, but I ain't going to go chasing after him. That Nürnberg over there might intercept me. And again, it's chasing somebody with torpedoes is difficult because you have to get well inside detection range. Oh, the Nürnberg's down. I'll go for the Cleveland. He's just popped out from behind the island, and his course seems to be staying level. So I'll line up 3 salvos on the Cleveland. Unfortunately, he's about to regret his hasty decision to come out and exchange fire with all these battleships behind me. And he doesn't stay out for too long because he starts taking some big hits. So he changes course. Not because he's seen me, not because he knows there's torpedoes in the water, but because he starts taking a lot of damage. So none of those are going to hit. And I'm pretty much doing here exactly what the Fubuki was doing in the Atlanta match in my previous World of Warships video. I haven't really gone anywhere other than this channel between the 2 main landmasses the entire game, but I've completely dominated it just by the virtue of being here. Oh, there's the Iziaslav. He hasn't gone far, has he? Right. Congo's long gone. Iziaslav has revealed his position by firing. Got to watch out for those spotter aircraft. They've made a circuit again. May be able to get the Cleveland if he continues on the same course and comes around the corner of this island. So he's the guy I'm looking for now. And now we know exactly where all 4 of the remaining enemy ships are. 3 there, and the Congo's disappeared over to the west. Cleveland's course seems to be varying, so I'll go for a wide spread and scatter the launch and start backing up. Do not want to get spotted here. But the Cleveland's changing course again, so none of those are going to hit. Yep, he's practically done anyway. He's taking fire from all directions and he's burning, so he's going down. So with the Cleveland out of the picture, which he will be any second now, there he goes. It's a lot safer closing in on that Iziaslav. Just checking for where the Congo's gone. He's not in line of sight. Oh, he's well down the channel on the far western end of the map. So with the Iziaslav targeted, I pop some torpedoes in the water, but it's always very, very ambitious firing torpedoes at a destroyer at long range. And yet, what's he doing? Again, my guns are pointing in this direction, and I've got a much better chance of hitting him with the guns than I do with the torpedoes, but he's detected. He has to know he's detected, even if he hasn't taken the situational awareness skill, because he's getting the crap pounded out of him. And he's in a destroyer, so his only defence is his speed and manoeuvrability. And he's sailing backwards. And once again, Just because you're in a Japanese destroyer doesn't mean you don't have to use your guns. If they're pointing at the target and you, well, there we go, kill number 4. He didn't make it difficult though, did he? I've got no chance of catching that Congo, so instead I'm going to close in on the New Mexico. A nice big fat tier 6 battleship. With the Itchislav dead, I'm no longer detected. I've become a stealth warrior again. I'm going to strike from the shadows. This guy's got me coming around this side. He's got numerous friendly ships coming around from the other side. Is he border surfing? I hope he is, because that's going to reduce his engine power and is going to make it extremely difficult for him to dodge my torpedoes. My plan to approach undetected is foiled by that dastardly spotter aircraft that's still circling overhead. It's not actually been launched by the New Mexico. If you take a look at the map, you'll see that it's flying a circle around roughly the spot where the Cleveland was. So it's probably the Cleveland's aircraft, but dead or not, his spotter aircraft is still proving troublesome. But then again, even though I keep popping in and out of visibility, what's the New Mexico going to do? He's already got his guns pointed in the direction of the 2 ships that are approaching him from the other side that he can see. Is he really going to take the time to turn his guns around to shoot at a small, fast-moving target like me when he's got other problems closing in that he's far, far more likely to hit? So, torpedoes away, turn around, haul ass, get the hell out of there. And I'm going to see if I can catch that Congo. Looks like he's managed to make it down the channel and he's attacking our carrier. Detected by the spotter aircraft again. I may as well turn my anti-aircraft guns on at this point. There go the torpedoes. Come on. There's one. Knocked out his steering. Come on. One more. Bingo. There you go. 5 kills. Release the Kraken. With the New Mexico disposed of, I've already turned around. I'm heading in the direction of our cap circle where the enemy Congo is desperately trying to kill our carrier, but he's just been engaged by another one of our Congos. So why was this match such a one-sided victory? The answer is actually pretty simple. It's got nothing to do with better players, it's all down to map control. Dominating this central channel in the Minekaze prevented the enemy team from linking up the 2 different starting spawns north and south, and so what we essentially were doing was fighting half of the enemy team at once. If you were to look at the way the map actually developed on the minimap throughout the course of that battle, you'll pretty clearly see the majority of our northern spawn abandoning the northern end of the map and heading down the western channel and linking up with the rest of the fleet that spawned in the south. So our team were able to mass their firepower at no more than half of the enemy fleet at once. The reason we were able to do that is because none of their destroyers challenged me for control of the central portion of the map. With no destroyers to flush me out, just the threat of being torpedoed was enough to confine that northern spawn of enemy ships into their section of the map the entire game, where we could just finish them off at our leisure. So, map control, it's just as important, if not more important, in World of Warships than it is in World of Tanks. Hope you enjoyed today's video, folks, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.